Hey everyone, welcome to the video on the RBI Circular October 2025. This is the part first. So these are the circulars that we need to cover, plus some of the news related to RBI from the RBI website, right? Recent updates on the RBI website of the October month we'll be also covering in this particular video. So let's start with the first October wali news which is there on your RBI circular, Mercanting Trade Transaction MTT. Now first let's discuss about what MTT is all about, and then we can go ahead and understand the update which are there in this MTT, right? So mercanting trade is nothing but an Indian trader. Here let's suppose I am trying to source goods and services from maybe China, and I'm selling the same goods and services in USA, right? So this is all about goods first. I'm buying some goods from China and I'm selling it to US, and this is how I am able to make some money. Say for example, I buy some goods at $1,000 and I'm selling to the United States of America at $1,200. So my seller is from China and my buyer is from United States of America, right? So I am an Indian trader. What this kind of transaction is, this is none other than your mercanting trade transaction, right? So I am just acting as an intermediary between a foreign seller and a foreign buyer. किसी और का goods है, I am just buying it and I am selling for a better price in the international market, right? So what used to happen here is, earlier, within 4 months you need to settle the foreign outflow. That means you need to pay the supplier. Now obviously you have bought goods and services from China, from somebody, a seller from China. Then you need to settle that particular outflow. You need to pay him the money, right? You need to pay him the money. It used to be 4 months. Now this is 6 months. So they have extended the timeline for 4 months to 6 months. It will be even fine if you are able to pay that supplier which is there in China from which you have bought goods within 4 months. Earlier this used to be there. Now it will be fine if you pay him within 6 months, right? So they have increased the timeline, so it gives a breathing space to the Indian trader, definitely. So यहाँ 6 महीने मिल जाएंगे, 4 महीने की जगह. This is the update. Rest of the things will be the same only. One more thing that you need to know is this MTT, this entire MTT transaction has to be completed within 9 months. So this remains as it is. So the very first thing that you need to know is MTT transaction का total tenure is 9 months, within 9 months, not more than 9 months. And now the RBI has extended the timeline for the outflow of foreign exchange. I'm not talking about this 9 month. This is a static thing. It's as it is only. That's the total tenure of the MTT transaction. You need to buy from China, you need to sell to USA, and you need to complete this transaction within 9 months. Once you are done with the transaction, then you need to pay the money, the outflow of foreign exchange, whatever you are paying to China. You need to pay him now. You need to pay your supplier within 6 months. Earlier it used to be 4 months. Now it is 6 months. So please do remember this update and this particular concept of total 9 months tenure period, right? So that's it for this particular circular. This was regarding the mercanting trade transaction, review of time period for outlay of foreign exchange. So earlier it used to be 4 months, now it is 6 months, right? So it was published on 1st of October 2025 on the RBI website. Then we have the export data processing monitoring system, which we call in short form EDPMS, and we do have import data processing monitoring system, IDPMS. Reconciliation of export-import entries, review of the guidelines. So RBI has reviewed the guidelines related to EDPMS and IDPMS. Sir, EDPMS, IDPMS क्या होता है? So first we'll be discussing about both the systems, what they are all about, and then we'll be discussing about what changes are being done by the Reserve Bank of India in the recent amendment. So now what EDPMS is all about, export data processing and monitoring system, as the name says it all. This is a system which is processing the export data and monitoring the export data, right? ऐसा system जो export data को process भी कर रहा हो and monitor भी कर रहा हो, that we call it as export data processing and monitoring system. So it's nothing but an online system, right? It is an online system created by Reserve Bank of India. So this was created, both the systems related to import and export were created by Reserve Bank of India. Why? To track the data related to exports. Any kind of export transaction is being tracked by RBI here via this particular system. So say for example, when the exporter ships the goods or provides services abroad, the export details are recorded in the EDPMS. Say for example, I'm exporting this pen to United States of America. I need to process this transaction through export data processing and monitoring system. All the exports of the country is recorded in this particular system. अरे तुम्हारा export data आएगा कैसे? नहीं तो there should be a system ना. हम बोलते हैं ना इतने का export हो गया. So how RBI is able to track it? Through export data process monitoring system, right? The whole purpose is to monitor whether the exporter has received the payment or not. If I have supplied 1000 units of this pen, whether I received the money or not. So that's being tracked by EDPMS. Similarly, for imports, we do have another system, IDPMS, Import Data Processing and Monitoring System. So it's similar to exports only, but it is for import, right? The system is the same, but it is for specifically the imports. So it records all the transaction, all the import related transaction, whatever I'm buying from Japan, whatever I'm buying from China, right? So buy of goods and services from foreign countries is being recorded in this particular system, so that this system ensures that the foreign exchange sent out of India, that means the importer, let's suppose I am importing something from Japan, so whether I have made the payment or not, and what was the amount of foreign exchange which was there in the transaction. So these are systems basically, right? These are systems. So guys, this circular is all about simplifying the procedure and reducing the compliance burden for the small exporters and importers, right? If you are a small exporter or importer, then this particular circular will be aiming to simplify the procedure and the reduced compliance burden will be there, right? So this facilitates the timely closure of entries in both the systems, whether related to export or import. This provides a simplified procedure as well for the small value transaction, and that's what you need to remember. What do you mean by small value transaction? And reducing the compliance cost for them, right? So what is a small value transaction? So a transaction with a value of 10 lakh rupee or less than 10 lakh rupee per entry or per bill, right? If your transaction is less than 10 lakh rupee or even if if it is equal to 10 lakh rupee, then it will be a small value transaction for the purpose of this particular circular, right? So there will be a revised procedure if your value of transaction is small or is equal to 10 lakh rupee. It will be a simplified procedure. So entries can be disclosed based on the declaration from the exporter regarding the amount realized. So exporter se bata sakta hai how much amount is realized. Importer can also confirm how much amount is paid, and entries in this particular system will be made on the basis of declaration submitted by the importer and exporter, and no further supporting document is required for these small value entries, right? तो ये 10 लाख और उससे नीचे की जो entries होंगी, उस entry के लिए we don't need any other kind of supporting evidence. It will be merely based on the declaration submitted by the importer and exporter. So that's a, I can say, simplified procedure given to the importer and the exporter. And this is effective from 1st of October 2025, right? Next is regarding the investment in the corporate debt securities by the person resident outside India through the special Rupee Vostro account. So those who are investing, let's suppose I am a person residing outside India, I can invest the excess money in the special Rupee Vostro account. I can park the excess money which is left in the special Rupee Vostro account, right? And I can even invest this excess money from the special Rupee Vostro account to the government securities. So that was one of the update that came in 2025. So now what they did is they just replaced the word of government securities with the eligible securities, and more new things are now a part of this particular circular, right? So what things are part of this circular? So earlier you can invest in central government securities including the treasury bill. Whatever surplus amount is there in this particular account, you can invest in government securities including the treasury bill. And now RBI has expanded the coverage to the different options like the corporate debt instruments, say for example NCDs, non-convertible debentures, to bonds, to commercial papers. So RBI is not as of now limiting this particular circular to the central government securities including treasury bill. Rather, they would love to explore multiple investment avenues like corporate debentures, non-convertible, right? But they should be non-convertible. It should not like that you can convert it into equity later on. No, bonds and commercial papers and so on. Right? What is special Rupee Vostro account? We have already discussed it in the previous circular. I think in the last month it came. It's nothing but a type of account maintained by the foreign bank with an Indian bank. So a foreign bank is maintaining account with an Indian bank, that too in INR. So whatever international trade settlement is there, the person residing abroad can easily do that, right? So sometimes some access money is also there in this particular account, and the person can invest in government securities at the same time. Now it is permitted in the non-convertible debentures, bonds and commercial paper. Please do remember this, right? So they have enhanced the scope of eligible security. They have introduced eligible security term instead of just the government securities. 1.2 note here is these instruments must be issued by the Indian companies only. So foreign company ke instruments are as of now not allowed in this particular circular. Right? Again, you need to have separate demat account as well if you are making investment in bonds, CPs and NCDs, and reporting to the SEBI depository. So again, transaction must be reported to the SEBI registered depository. And there is a corresponding amendment in the international trade settlement in rupee also. So this circular recently came, but now we need to give an impact on this particular circular as well. So here they have added this line that the AD banks may also permit the surplus account in the non-convertible debentures, bonds, commercial paper and commercial papers of the Indian entity and not the foreign entity. So that's a corresponding amendment which is there in this particular circular as well. Next is one more quick update, and this can be very important one. Reserve Bank of India integrated ombudsman scheme. So we all know कि Reserve Bank of India की integrated ombudsman scheme है, but now they have specifically directed to include the state cooperative banks and the central cooperative banks as well. They shall also be regarded as a regulated entity for the purpose of this particular scheme, right? So now guys, state cooperative banks and central cooperative banks are also in the definition of this particular integrated ombudsman scheme, and this will be effective from 1st of November 2025, right? So this is important. Now do remember the applicability as well here. They have included the state cooperative banks, central cooperative banks, और पहले scheduled commercial banks were already there, regional rural banks were already there. ये दो नए यहाँ पे amendment आ गए, right? Then scheduled primary cooperative banks and non-scheduled primary cooperative banks with deposit size of 50 crore and above. NBFCs हो गए excluding the housing finance corporations. Then have customer interface, those have customer that are having the customer interface with the asset size of 100 crore and above. So again यहाँ पे limits थी, अभी आपको ये ध्यान रखना है कि state cooperative bank and central cooperative banks are also in the list, and all the system participants and credit information company are also included in this, right? And then there are certain amendments in the foreign exchange management regulation 2025. So mostly these regulations are related to the IFSC. So earlier in the regulation IFSC was not defined. Now this has been added, a definition has been added. Who can open a foreign currency account? So यहाँ पे exporters under limited circumstances लिखा हुआ था, अभी exporters for export proceeds and advances. Where the account can be opened? Only abroad outside India. Now they have permitted the IFSC also, right? So these are the obvious amendments. And utilization, repatriation timeline. So general rule पहले 1 month हुआ करता था, अभी 3 months for the IFSC account holders and 1 month for others. So the others वाला अभी भी 1 month ही है, but if you are having the account in the IFSC, then आपके लिए कितना हो गया यहाँ पे 3 months हो चुका है, right? Purpose of the account to hold the foreign exchange proceeds temporarily and here for the export realization and import payment. So these are the basic amendments related to IFSC, which is included in the Foreign Exchange Management Act Regulations 2025. Then a quick update that RBI has appointed Ms. Sonali Sen Gupta as new executive director, right? So this is a quick update. Consolidation of regulation draft for the comment. So RBI has now, kind of to enhance the completeness and accuracy check, draft of 238 consolidated master directions and guidelines prepare kiya, and list of the circulars proposed to be repealed. So basically they are trying to consolidate as many regulations as they can as of now. This news came into picture on 10th of October 2025, right? Then Shriresh Chandra Murmu has taken over the RBI Deputy Governor. तो अभी सर नए RBI Deputy Governor बन चुके हैं as on 9th of October 2025, which was there in the news. Then RBI appoints Shri Sanjay Kumar Hansda as new Executive Director. तो ये यहाँ पे नए Executive Director बन चुके हैं. So these are related to more, I can say, appointment related things that you need to know. अच्छा, आरबीआई ने वेरीफाइड व्हाट्सएप चैनल भी लॉन्च किया था फॉर द पब्लिक अवेयरनेस. फॉर एनहांसिंग द पब्लिक अवेयरनेस, आरबीआई हैज लॉन्च द वेरीफाइड व्हाट्सएप चैनल ऑल्सो. सो ऑलरेडी इसके पब्लिक कैंपेन्स चल रहे थे रिगार्डिंग दी different medias like print, television, radio and all, right? And this will be the second edition, right? This will be the second account in addition to the first account. Already the first account was launched in April 2025, right? For the public awareness, for spreading the public awareness. Then RBI integrates the Bharat Connect. अच्छा, अब दो प्लेटफॉर्म है, Bharat Connect with the FX retail to enable digital USD purchases. So what RBI is doing is, there is one platform which is Bharat Connect, which is Bharat Connect bill payment system, and they have integrated it with the FX retail platform so that the individual customers can digitally buy the US dollar. So if you want to buy US dollars, now you can easily do that, right? Because of this integration. So this pilot covers customers of different banks, as we can see, Axis Bank, Federal Bank, ICICI Bank and so on. And to access the facility, will be via banking or payment methods only, and these payment methods are now integrated with the Bharat Connect. Bharat Connect क्या होता है? It's nothing but the Bharat bill payment system only, which is operated by our NPCI. It's nothing but a digital platform that enables customers to make payments and transaction easily through various banks and third party. So ये Bharat Connect है. FX retail platform क्या होता है? It's a online marketplace which is operated by the ClearCorp Dealing System Limited. It allows the individuals, companies, if you are a company, if you are an individual, you can easily buy or sell foreign exchange like US dollar by INR directly at the market determined rate. So let's suppose if I want to sell some dollars, I can do it on the FX retail platform. I can even buy dollars on the FX retail platform, and now there is an integration of the Bharat Connect in the retail FX retail platform, right? So the whole idea is to democratize the access of the foreign exchange to the retailer users as well, so that retailer users don't have to physically visit the bank branches or the foreign exchange counters. So now you can easily do it even if you are a retailer. Because of this integration, you don't have to visit to the bank branches or foreign exchange counters for that. So it's all because of bringing more and more ease related to the FX access to the retailers also. Then one more important thing, guys, RBI has granted the SRO status. What is SRO? Self-regulatory organization in the financial market. So RBI, through its omnibus framework for the SRO, has now given another status to the Fintech Association for Consumer Empowerment. Now they have been granted the SRO status for the Fintech domain in India, which is prior to this decision, right? Prior to this decision, कौन से आपके regulate करते थे? Fintech Association for Customer Empowerment. And now in the NBFC side, in the non-bank lending side, FIDC, Finance Industry Development Council, was one of the three applicant. The other two were not considered for them. And as of now, यहाँ पे आपका FIDC को RBI has formally recognized the SRO for the NBFC and the basically the non-banking lending sector को वहाँ पे कौन SRO हो गए, आपके regulator कौन हो गए, FIDC हो गए. Please do remember this particular news can be important for your examination, right? Very, very important. This is a super important news. So the whole responsibility of the SRO will be to promote discipline, compliance, standards and multiple ethical practices so that NBFC की practices बहुत ही transparent हो, बहुत ही fair हो, right? Then there was one speech in media interaction side के अंदर एक updated driving inclusion and sustainable growth through digital public infrastructure and fintech. So ये यहाँ पे keynote address किसने किया था? Mr. संजय मल्होत्रा जो RBI गवर्नर है उन्होंने किया था on 8th of October at the Global Fintech Feast 2025, right? So this was nothing but a speech at the Global Fintech Fest 2025. आप सभी को पता है Global Fintech Fest हुआ था 2025 को in Mumbai and Mr. Sanjay Malhotra delivered a speech. This was regarding driving the inclusive and sustainable growth through digital public infrastructure and fintech. So speech के key highlights मैंने यहाँ पे लिखे हुए हैं जो आपको पता होने चाहिए. These are just the key highlights. You don't have to go into too much detail, but you need to know the key highlights, right? 3 layers of DPI was considered. What is DPI? Digital public infrastructure, which is the foundation of the growth. 3 layers were identified like identity layer, like payment layer and data layer. So in the identity layer, we talked about Aadhaar, enabled instantly to identify, authenticate the transaction, electronic KYC and DBT enabler, ये सारे यहाँ पे आधार के बारे में बात हुई. उसके बाद पेमेंट लेयर के अंदर AEPS, Aadhaar enabled payment system and UPI. So they talked about the kind of UPI penetration of India, and as of now we do have so much of users and 20 billion transaction monthly on a monthly basis is there. Then the data layer, they talked about the digitization of the income tax and the GSTN, right? The fintech के अंदर क्या बात हुई थी यहाँ पे आपकी? The fintech is complementing the DPI. So India houses 10,000 plus fintech players here with a $40 billion plus investment in the past decade. So that's quite amazing. Skilled tech talent है यहाँ पे. उसके बाद enabling the regulatory framework and so many benefits I can say. RBI is strongly promoting the fintech. We do have the platform as well of RBI, right? The regulatory sandbox platform. So यहाँ पे काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें लिखी हुई, आप इसको एक बार पढ़ सकते हो. ब्रॉडली मेन अगर की टॉपिक्स पे मैं बात करना चाहूँ तो 3 लेयर्स आपको पता होना चाहिए, आइडेंटिटी लेयर, पेमेंट लेयर एंड डेटा लेयर, राइट? आफ्टर दैट RBI आउटलाइंड 5 फोकस एरियाज फॉर द नेक्स्ट फिनटेक फेज. तो अगले फिनटेक फेज के लिए क्या 5 एरियाज हैं? अग्रीगेशन एंड लिवरेजिंग ऑफ डेटा, फाइनेंशियल डेटा, राइट? अग्रीगेशन एंड लिवरेजिंग ऑफ फाइनेंशियल डेटा, डिजिटल रूपी, asset tokenization and artificial intelligence and digital fraud, cyber security. ये 5 की फोकस एरियाज भी आपको पता होना चाहिए. 5 focus areas that was highlighted in this particular speech, right? So क्या क्या हो गया यहाँ पे? देखो 3 तो layers हो गए, आइडेंटिटी लेयर, पेमेंट लेयर एंड डेटा लेयर. Then we do have 5 focus areas of aggregation, leveraging of financial data and the digital rupee, asset tokenization, AI and digital frauds and cyber security. Aggregation and leveraging of financial data, तो यहाँ पे account aggregator की बात की गई, right? उसके key highlights बताए गए. And some of the upcoming RBI measures like improving the customer onboarding और UI UX के ऊपर काफ़ी सारा काम किया जाएगा. Enhanced data security and so on. Then ULI की बात करी गई, Unified Lending Interface, which is bridging the credit gap through the data driven and inclusive credit delivery. उसके key highlights की बात करी. CBDC की बात करी, which is none other than our digital rupee, right? और asset tokenization. So asset tokenization means using of blockchain technology and smart contracts. Smart contracts again is one of the possible use case of blockchain technology to make the financial markets more transparent and more efficient, right? So RBI has introduced the concept of Unified Market Interface, UMI, Unified Market Interface, a next-gen market infrastructure to tokenize the financial asset and settlement using the wholesale CBDC. This we have covered in the Finance Current Affairs series, guys. If you are following regularly the Finance Current Affairs series, This is nothing but a tokenization technique of financial assets and settlement using the wholesale CBDC. So tokenization से क्या होता है, ट्रांसपेरेंसी आपकी बहुत इंक्रीज हो जाती है, राइट, इंटेग्रिटी डेटा की प्रोटेक्टेड रहती है. मैंने आपको एग्जांपल भी दिया था टोकनाइजेशन ऑफ केवाईसी का, जहां पे हम एक बार केवाईसी करते हैं, वी डू द केवाईसी वंस एंड देन वी कन्वर्ट इट इनटू टोकन्स. से फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ अनदर रेगुलेटरी बॉडी or regulated entity wants to redo the KYC, then we can just transfer the tokens and the KYC is sorted, right? So no need to share the full KYC again and again is one of the key benefit here. Then artificial intelligence in financial sector की बात करी थी, integration with DPI, AI as public good infrastructure, public goods infrastructure, right? अच्छा, RBI की free AI कमेटी रिपोर्ट भी आई थी, वहाँ पे भी हमने काफ़ी सारे डिस्कशंस किए थे. एंड टू फैक्टर ऑथेंटिकेशन से रिलेटेड अभी जो रिसेंट सर्कुलर आया था, दे हैव टॉक्ड अबाउट टू फैक्टर ऑथेंटिकेशन, देन टोकनाइजेशन ऑफ कार्ड ऑन फाइल डेटा, कंज्यूमर कंट्रोल हो गया, प्रिंसिपल बेस्ड ऑथेंटिकेशन हो गया, exclusive domains like fin.in, bank.in. This is one of the most expected question in your upcoming examination. Then series of calls. अब अच्छा, इनमें से काफ़ी सारी न्यूज़ ना जनवरी, फरवरी, मार्च, अप्रैल की भी है, राइट? And now because the RBI's governor has summarized each and everything in this particular speech, so I personally feel that you need to at least have a basic structure of what things were covered. Maybe there is a question related to digital payments or DPI, digital payment infrastructure. Then you can use each and everything in your descriptive answer writing. Your answer will be, I can say, beating most of the students' answer. Why? Because you have included the current data as well from the RBI governor speech. You can also give a reference of that कि RBI governor speech में मिस्टर संजय मल्होत्रा ने ये चीज़ें हाईलाइट भी करी थी, राइट? mulehunter.ai. अभी ये सब सारी थोड़ी सी पुरानी न्यूज़ है, नो डाउट. अभी एग्जाम हमारा आने वाला है फेज 2 का, सो ये वाली न्यूज़ सारी आपके लिए रेलेवेंट हो चुकी है. सो एक एक न्यूज़ को डिटेल में जाके पीछे जाके पढ़ो. इससे बेटर है कि आपने अगर एक बार स्पीच को भी अच्छे से डिटेल में कवर कर लिया इस PDF से, then also it will be a good coverage, right? That's why I'm also covering speeches as well, which I feel can be important. I'm not covering each and every speech in this particular series. This is a circular series, but this is a circular series, but at the same time, whenever something is important from the RBI website, I always try to incorporate in this particular lecture. Then they talked about the digital payment intelligence platform under development for the shared for the real time fraud detection. So कोई भी fraud detection होगा तो वो real time basis पे हो जाएगा under the digital payment intelligence platform. Then governors 5 key takeaway for the fintech. Build for inclusion, right? Build for inclusion, customer first approach. So ये 5 key takeaways दिए थे उन्होंने fintech में से जो उन्होंने speech दी थी. Innovate in credit delivery, prioritize trust and compliance, think global, anchor locals. So that's a best I can say 5 key takeaway जो सर ने यहाँ पे स्पीच में दिए थे. आपको ये बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग इसकी यहाँ पे होनी चाहिए, राइट? यू कैन यूज द पॉइंटर्स फ्रॉम दिस पर्टिकुलर स्पीच in your descriptive answer writing, and trust me, your answer will be next level. If you try to include these kind of data related things from different areas like circulars, like speeches, your answer will definitely be next level. And I have given the summary pointers here as well. For those who want to read this particular speech in a summarized manner, just try to read the summary pointers. Everything is there in this particular summary pointer also, right? Next was the responsible artificial intelligence balancing innovation with the financial stability, right? So this was one more speech because now it is related to AI. That's why I have covered it, right? You can even use this use some of the lines from this particular speech in your any answer related to AI. And nowadays आप देख रहे हो हर एग्जाम में कुछ ना कुछ AI रिलेटेड तो पूछ ही रहे हैं, बिकॉज इट इज इन लाइमलाइट. रियल यूज केस हैज ऑलरेडी बीन एस्टेब्लिश्ड एंड इट इज इन लाइमलाइट. सो यू नीड टू रिमेंबर गाइज कि आपको इस स्पीच को यूज करना आना चाहिए कि हम इसको कैसे वी कैन यूज दिस स्पीच इन द डिस्क्रिप्टिव आंसर राइटिंग, और व्हाट काइंड ऑफ न्यूमेरिकल्स नहीं, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ MCQs कैन कम आउट ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर स्पीच, राइट? व्हाट काइंड ऑफ ऑब्जेक्टिव बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस कैन कम, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ डिस्क्रिप्टिव lines I can use in my descriptive question writing, answer writing and so on. So this is balancing growth with the financial stability, और ये यहाँ पे Deputy Governor of Reserve Bank of India ने deliver की थी, right? That was also in the Global Fintech Fest held in Mumbai. The date was 7th of October when it was released, and I have given the key pointers here also. So they have covered in the introduction about the rise of AI and the dual nature of it, right? So AI has transitioned from the academic curiosity. Earlier there used to be only academic curiosity. Now it is a core driver for decisions, right? It is now a key enabler, whether we talk about finance or daily life or governance. Then कुछ applications की बात करी थी, phone unlocking, chatbot and financial transactions की बात करी थी. Now AI can be the best thing or the worst thing that can happen to humanity was a quote here which was stated in one of the article of Mr. Stephen, right? तो उन्होंने उसकी बात करी थी यहाँ पे, AI can be best, AI can be worst. That's why we call it as a dual nature, the dual nature of AI, right? So इससे हम trust और stability को काफ़ी यहाँ पे maintain करके रखना चाहिए. Then they have talked about the benefit of the AI in the financial sector, like फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन, क्रेडिट असेसमेंट, जो हम डेफिनेटली हमारे डिस्क्रिप्टिव आंसर राइटिंग सेशन में और एआई वाले सेशन के अंदर डिस्कस करते ही हैं कि वो आपकी बेसिकली आपको फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन को कैसे बढ़ा सकता है, क्रेडिट असेसमेंट कैसे कर सकता है इन द फ्रॉड डिटेक्शन, mulenter.ai, राइट, रिस्क मैनेजमेंट पार्ट. सो ये आपका रेगुलेटरी टेक एंड सुपरवाइजरी टेक इनमें कैसे काम में आ सकता है. ऑपरेशनल एफिशिएंसी की उन्होंने बात करी, एआई स्ट्रीमलाइंस दी केवाईसी एंड लोन प्रोसेसिंग data extraction via the NLP technology. So multiple things they have discussed. They have discussed about the investment and trading as well. AI identifies the strong price inefficiencies. तो कोई भी strong short term price inefficiencies चल रही होगी तो AI easily can identify that. They talked about the robo advisory also for small investors, right? Because for small investors hiring different financial, I can say, financial advisors is not possible, so that's why they can go ahead with the robo advisory जहाँ पे उनको customized advice भी मिल जाएगी उनके हिसाब से. Then multiple points are there in this, like data bias and discrimination, systemic and ethical risk and employment displacement. These things were there were discussed in this particular speech, and obviously RBI की free AI committee का वापस reference दिया गया था, the guiding 7 sutras. And this is again important for your upcoming examination, right? वहाँ पे key principles भी state किए गए थे, trust, people first, accountability, understand by design, safety and resilience. तो ये सारी चीज़ें आपको यहाँ पे याद रखनी है. Free AI committee report remains important. One question was there in your phase 1. One more question can be there on your phase 2 examination. नहीं भी हो, descriptive के अंदर कोई AI related question आ जाए, definitely do mention the रेफरेंस ऑफ फ्री एआई कमिटी रिपोर्ट बाय रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया, राइट. सो ये चीज़ें आपको यहाँ पे याद रखनी है. एंड द डेप्यूटी गवर्नर ऑल्सो स्टेटेड 5 गाइड पॉइंट्स विच इज 5 T's: ट्रस्ट, ट्रांसपेरेंसी, ट्रेनिंग, टेक्नोलॉजी फॉर गुड एंड टुगेदरनेस, विच इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर द better use of AI, right? And here are the key takeaways from this particular circular that you can remember if you are not going through the full speech, right? So guys, that's all from my end for today in this particular video. This was the part 1 of RBI circular October 2025. Part 2 will be also soon out, right? आप एक बार अच्छे से part 1 कर लो, उसके बाद part 2 के अंदर में rest of the news cover कर लूँगा, rest of the RBI circulars cover कर लूँगा. RBI circulars बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं है, we don't have too many RBI circulars if I talk about the October 2025 month, right? तो इसीलिए हम थोड़ा सा scope कहाँ पे expand करेंगे, speeches की summary के अंदर और डेटा विच इज़ बीइंग सोर्स फ्रॉम द RBI वेबसाइट. इट इज़ ऑल्सो देयर इन अवर कोर्स. तो हम उसके ऊपर भी आने वाले सेशन के अंदर भी हाफ ऑफ द सेशन विल बी रिलेटेड टू योर RBI वेबसाइट, राइट. फॉर दोज हु आर सीकिंग फॉर मेंटोरशिप, दिस इज द बैच. यू कैन check out the course highlights of this particular batch specifically for the phase 2 preparation. This is a crash course which will be having live class, books and mock test including in it, right? Everything is included in this particular course. You don't have to worry. Check the course highlights as well and do give the free all India weekly test which is always there in the on the Monday, on Tuesday. Every Monday and every Tuesday को आपका ये free all India weekly live test होता है. यहाँ पे आपको एग्जैक्ट एग्जाम इंटरफेस मिलता है ऑफ RBI Grade B phase 1, राइट, phase 2 FM पेपर. ओके गाइस, सो थैंक यू सो मच, बाय बाय, टेक केयर. मिलते हैं पार्ट 2 के अंदर. तब तक के लिए आप पार्ट 1 को अच्छे से एक बार पढ़ लो.